Sincere apologies to all of you. Some of you already started sending in messages saying that these repeated problems are making it discomforting to listen to the show. I'm sorry. Sincerely apologize. We'll do our best not to have the problems repeat themselves anymore. Thank you very much. The first issue we are looking at is the hashtag Dumsor must stop. Abdul Malik was just making a point, and you have to start again, sorry, because we didn't hear you.
Yeah, I was saying that a presidential pledge, however sincere it sounds or appears, doesn't constitute an injunction, an expression of speech and outpouring of your feelings and frustrations. This is an organized society. We're in a law-governed society. We're different human beings coming from different sectors of the society. Yes, a president's word should be taken for what it's worth. And I do not for a moment seek to undervalue the president's commitment to deliver on his promises relative to this Dumsor matter. I want to give him the benefit of the doubt. But that, as I said, is not an injunction on what others will do. See, check the societal framework. The clergy is talking, labor is talking, students are talking, politicians and political parties are talking, you know. So today we have artists, musicians, movie stars, celebrities put together talking. That's the society. That's what we are. Everybody is talking. Even the president concedes that Dumsor is having an adverse impact on our society, economically, politically, industrially, commercially, everything. The impact is huge. So that is clear that every single person out here who lives in this land, Ghanaian and non-Ghanaian, but does business in this land or stays here, is feeling the pinch. So for me, it's not unusual, it's not unexpected that today we have a certain segment of society also publicly responding and telling us their frustrations. Perhaps that's the new dynamic. This group of persons are usually not very public when it comes to dealing with certain issues of national and public interest. Right. So perhaps that's the new dynamic. But that itself should indicate that perhaps the crisis is becoming overwhelming. Okay. And that, I believe, should rather encourage, serve as an incentive for the appropriate authorities to wake up and to do more about it. That is the way I see it.
What would you rather say briefly about those who attack them and suggest that and begin to tag them as, you know, doing the opposition's bidding?
I pity them. They are pathetic. They need to be forgiven. They don't understand what democracy is all about. They don't understand that we are building a culture of democracy. We are advancing this country. As long as those celebrities are not attacking, insulting, assassinating character, are not using sticks and iron rods and cutlasses in the streets to make their case, democracy has enough room, time and space for them. Very decent citizens of the land putting out their case. Look, democracy has even room for political lunacy, even for the lunatic French, because they are there. They can do anything, but the law is there to cure that mischief if indeed they go beyond the law. Why are we worried about this segment of society articulating their concerns and frustrations? It doesn't give us any marks as a civilized democracy. So those who are out there with their ugly noises, even though I can live with ugly noises, I think if we can appeal to them to get their senses or their heads screwed up, it may help all of us.
Thank you, Abdul Malik. Now, let me hear what Dr. Pepo will have to say about this. Particularly for those within the NDC or who support the NDC or are sympathizers of the NDC, who make it sound as though you ought to be MPP to feel the Dumsor effect, what do you say to them?
I think it's, thank you very much and good morning to our listeners. I believe this is another test case for us as Ghanaians. And I also believe very strongly that because of the strength of our democracy, our commitment to peace and liberty, freedom, this is going to pass as though it never happened. Regrettably, this thing is turning the way it's going, with people insulting each other and writing about each other as if we were not in this country.
I'm not sure it's about people insulting each other. It's about people who have complained about the situation being insulted and attacked by sympathizers of the NDC.
No, if you understand the historical development of this situation, you wouldn't say people who are insulting others or attacking others who declared. Dumsor is not a new thing, and opposition about it is not a new thing. MPP went on the streets to protest about it. Nothing happened. People talk about it on radio, on television. Nothing happened. But if a young lady would take a pen and tell the president he's like a schoolboy who fails his exams every time.
That's Lydia Forcing.
I don't know.
Yes, Lydia Forcing, Lydia, the actress.
And another person,
is that what you mean?
Yeah, okay. Yeah, another person would respond to a critic and say, Mahama, hold your dogs. You know, I mean, they are going into the realm that they are not known for.
You are not justifying those who insult these ladies as prostitutes and suffering some
I want us to look at it from the genesis. You don't just go...
In fact, some of the attacks, I'm unable to repeat them on this platform. Because
please, can you let me make my point?
Right, go
ahead. I'm
saying
saying that these people are venturing into an area. It's a new area in their lives. It has its hazards. We've been in this country for a long time. We've seen politics, we've seen politicking, we've seen the actors in it, and we've seen how they deal with each other, sometimes over the board. It has an occupational hazard accompanying it. They are coming into that realm, unfamiliar in the terrain, and they're professing to take it to a high level. And unfortunately, they gave it a first shot. It might be mild, it might be strong. The first shot is to attack the presidency, which is our president, not just NDC president. I mean, Ghanaians. He represents the soul and the spirit of this nation.
Respectfully, sir, so as long as they are concerned, this is not politics that they are venturing into that you suggest is a new thing for them.
Are you thinking for them?
I'm saying what they have said.
Yeah, I've heard everything.
These are not only actors and actresses and singers, but they are employers, they are producers. They employ people. They are beginning to do what? Sack some of their employees.
Can I make the point?
They say they cannot afford to continue to fuel the gen sets and a host other things.
Can I make the point that I do understand everything that they are doing? I do understand that they are not the only Ghanaians who are facing Dumsor, but they are the only ones, along with a few, who decide to go on the streets. I know. And they are going on the street for one reason, to make a point, to draw attention. I know that. I do acknowledge the fact that Dumsor is causing lots of pain on us. We all are suffering the pain. And I do sympathize with them because these are private sector people who want to make a name for themselves, who want to keep their jobs, and who want to grow their jobs. I do accept all that. They have a way of communicating it without drawing the kind of attention they drew and the kinds of repercussion it has come to. I think that using the arts or people in the arts veering into politics is not new. In fact, the two are bedfellows. We've seen some of them who even go into the contest and contest themselves. We've seen some of them who criticize in their poets, in their writing, in their poems and in their writing. You know, they criticize government and make it impossible for government to even go ahead. I mean, it's all part of it. Those who put it in music, Mariam Makiba and the rest of them, and had to leave their countries because they thought that they were just simply expressing their disagreement about human rights abuses in their country. But you see, you don't differentiate between, you can't draw a clean line between when you oppose government for his policy or his non-policy action and when you go into a political discussion with him or discourse with government. So for the politician, I interpret it to be politics. For the musician or for the artist or the...
So in this particular circumstance,
yes,
your interpretation is politics. Is that they are getting into politics?
So I'm a politician, so I think that, well,
can I have an answer? Is that what you think, that they are getting into politics?
They have gone into politics already.
That if you get up to complain about Dumsor, you are doing politics.
It is wrong. That is not true. I'm not saying that. If you complain about Dumsor, it touches you where it pains you most. And then you can complain about government. It's very important.
So why do you say that is getting into politics?
But I'm saying that interpretation can be given to everything. You have asked me about NDC, people associated with NDC who are speaking ill of them. And I'm interpreting the reason.
Insulting them.
Yeah, I'm telling you the reason behind it. But I haven't given you my own opinion yet. Now, so when you see this thing happening, you would see how much people put emotions to it, what interpretations they put onto it. And I do admit to you that it is their right, completely their right, to do what they are doing, to go onto the streets, to protest about it. It is within our democracy, and we all support it. We all support a situation where young people can say no when they feel that something is going wrong in this country. But this is an anticlimax of the situation we are facing. An anticlimax because I will protest about a situation which is persistent, which is not addressed, which politicians or whoever may not be listening to. I will want to join a protest about it. I will not protest about a situation where after the people have spoken in all facets of life, the leader of the nation will come out to make a definite statement that by the end of this year, I will solve this problem. I'm not going to manage it, I'm going to fix it. That is the climax of the issue. Anybody else coming onto the problem and clamoring for another action is an anticlimax. But let me put it on record and very straight too, that I'm not saying what they are doing is wholly politics, but I'm saying that it touches on political issues. It touches on the nerve center of politics, and they cannot absolve themselves from also going into politics. And the hazards of it, they will have to absorb. Unfortunately,
Gabi, just hold on briefly. Gabi, do you see that the problem is one of a misinterpretation of what the people say are their genuine sufferings?
I think the problem is really with a government that doesn't understand the problem. You know, I think what we have here is a government that has lost touch with the concerns of the Ghanaian people. It's as simple as that.
A government that's gone to Kapa to bring you, plants, and is also taking steps to fix the problem permanently.
Please. Is a government with a president who says that those who are rationalizing, companies that are rationalizing, are not being smart. Whilst he himself has run to the IMF for a bailout so he can rationalize.
No government has said that the people who are doing it are not being smart.
Oh, but when you say that those who are smart are those who are investing rather than cutting down, then it means if you are cutting down, you're not being smart.
No. He said he was calling on them.
So the rest are not smart.
He was calling on these are the smart. He didn't say.
Yeah, but you have gone to the IMF to rationalize, okay? Because you can't meet your expenses, and you brought Dumsor on businesses, and they are doing the same thing. You are saying they are not being smart, but you are being smart, going to the IMF to rationalize, isn't it? So it tells you that you have a government that has lost touch with realities on the ground. It's as simple as that. And don't underestimate what the celebrities are doing. Because often what do we see? Normally, celebrities come in during election, don't they? To endorse one particular presidential candidate or the other. But this is mid-term, in the middle of an election, and they are coming out because they know that the country is going at the wrong direction. So if you want to choose to insult them, is entirely up to you. And I think the response, sometimes we should be able to apply some modicum of humility as a government. Because, you don't pour insults on an injury caused by yourself to the people. They have come, words were hashed. What were the harsh words? Something about if it was school, he was in school. What did they say?
He's like a kid who is always failing in school.
Absolutely, but isn't it what is happening? I mean, this is the longest. You said Dumsor was happening before.
You also say that per your understanding of how Lydia Forson put that statement, it's not derogatory of the president.
No, my point is, it's harsh. Harsh doesn't mean derogatory. I mean, you can, but what is wrong if you say that the president has failed? And who fails? If you go to school and then you keep sitting for exams and you are failing, you gave us one promise. You gave us a promise at 2012 that the next year you're going to deal with Dumsor. You didn't do it. We are in the 4th year of Dumsor. It's never happened in this country before. We've had Dumsor maybe three or so times, but 4 years running. And you run your manifesto that you were going to solve Dumsor the next year. 2013. We've gone past 2014. We are in 2015. The manifesto
promise is energy for all 2016.
Okay, IEA. At the IEA conference, the president said that IEA summit or whatever, was it IEA debate? I think
yes.
That
he
was,
said Dumsor
was it a
would be
debate?
A thing of the past.
No, and he said he gave us a date that within the first years he will solve it. And this is not failure. So if an artist is playing with words and says
he
that
said within the first year.
Absolutely, yeah.
Where?
You've seen the videos there.
I don't remember exactly that, but I remember saying that Dumsor will be a thing of the past.
He said, in my first year.
In my first year.
In my first year.
He's talking
the
about
first year
term.
of our second term.
Right.
In my first year.
In my first year. He's not done with his first year.
No, it said, the
first
first
term.
No, first year. Oh, please. He didn't say first year.
No, wait, hold on.
Yes. Of our second term.
Yeah, the first year of our second term.
That's what he said.
That's what he said.
Okay.
In our first year, the first year of our second term, Dumsor will be a thing of
He's in his first term. The president
No, but
is in his first
he was
term.
then campaigning for election 2012.
And this is the first year of his second...
No, you see, no,
This is
because he was looking
okay.
at a party.
First year of their
He said-
second term
oh,
has
yes.
not even come yet, isn't it?
First,
It hasn't come.
See, this is what the president was doing.
His method of
He was
interpretation-
looking at the
method of
party, the
interpretation.
Mills administration, which
Sir,
was
can
the
you
ruling
stop being
party
big
then,
mouth?
NDC party in office. And he had taken over. Don't forget, he was serving the unexpired period of
That's
the Mills
correct.
administration.
Right.
And at the campaign level, he said, look, during the second term, the first year of our second term, relative to the party, his emphasis was on the party. Because the party really is serving a second term. Do you know the party is serving its 4th term really? In the constitutional arrangement.
Okay.
This is the 4th NDC administration.
like the PDP, 60.
You understand?
Okay.
That's the 4th.
Right.
It's a fact.
Well, that's a sound I think we have played a number of times here on this platform. But go ahead with your point.
So, but go out there, Samson, and tell the president and the rest of you working with him to go out there, meet the boys on a bike selling fun ice. Okay? They lose because sometimes they collect it and they can't sell because it's spoiled. Okay? Go and speak to the cold store. I heard the Hoteliers Association, 12 hotels are supposed to be closing down. Okay? They're spending, some hotels, at least and the rest of them, they're spending 10,000 Ghana cedis a day. Daily guide, I believe every week they spend about 10,000 buying diesel. And when you are being smart as a government, and look, this whole thing is about finance. It's not really about capacity. And the president admits it now. So when you are being smart, you sit down and you calculate, you estimate the cost of Dumsor. And you say that, look, how can we resolve it? Because crude oil or whatever is more expensive. Tell Ghanaians that, look, for the next 6 months or 2 years or 1 year, it will take us maybe 1 year to solve the Dumsor. We need to buy crude oil. It will be difficult, but this is the cost, extra cost that you may have to pay. Okay? And wouldn't that be wiser, smarter, forgive me to use the president's phrase, wouldn't that be smarter that when you walk on the streets today, every single small shop, within a block of shops, they have their diesel small generators. Are we thinking about the noise pollution? Are we thinking about the fumes? Are we thinking about the cost to their business? We don't think. We are not thinking. We are just sitting there and giving promises.
Are you
but
saying,
I'm saying
that
Ghanaians
government
will be
does
willing
not recognize this impact?
Please, they don't.
Has it said so?
I'm telling you.
If they don't, why would they be bringing the solution?
Because government has not sat down to calculate the cost, the social cost, the economic cost, and sit down and say, look, it is costing us $3 billion.
No, I think government has acknowleded that this situation is hemorrhaging the economy. I think nobody has shied away from that.
Listen to me. When you sit down and you say it's costing you $3 billion a year, okay? Then there's an emergency situation that you can resolve because you can perhaps provide enough crude. Give VRA the money that it needs to maybe fix its way through whatever. Okay? You go and find that money because you know, and tell Ghanaians that we may have to pay an extra 30% for the next 2 years. And I believe you and me, Ghanaians might pay that because at the end of the day, today, we are paying maybe 300% more than we normally would have paid. And businesses are collapsing. People, do you know how many people, operations that go wrong because they don't have lights? We don't know the social cost. Kids who are failing their exams because they can't do their homework. These are the things. This is being smart. It's not like you're saying that companies are
investing. Here you are, and I restate this. Kweku says that government's pledge, or whatever it has said it will do about the situation, the president, is not an injunction to expression of one's freedom of speech. And you will agree to that the Constitution guarantees that freedom, which they intend to exercise. But to what end? Question, will it add a single megawatt? So is it necessary to get on the street?
I thank you for this very interesting question. The first thing we ought to understand is that the energy problem we're facing today has been with us and is foreseeable. It was foreseeable that it will catch up with us. And it is also must be understood that it is a regional problem. In the sense that if you look at the whole of West Africa, all the economies are underperforming because of lack of energy. They're underperforming. If we had energy, the economy would just expand massively.
Doc, somehow I'm not getting direct answers, and it doesn't help me really much.
I'm coming. Now, if we understand this is not a political thing, that people should not be playing politics with it, but it is a national problem. When I say a regional problem, it comes in, Ghana is part of West Africa. Therefore, it becomes a national problem. It was foreseeable. Now, what do we do? If you say the president had promised to fix it, everybody, reasonable people would believe that as a president, he has a duty, the moral courage to lead, encourage people, give us motivation, and make us, inspire us, so to speak. And it is not a question where you can always hold him to test the validity of the promise or the credibility of the promise or whatever, because he is required as a father to give us assurance that the problem will be solved or it will soon be solved, to inspire us, to motivate us, rather than say, oh, raise his hand and say, we're doomed. That is not an alternative speech. So as a president, people must understand it, that by speaking this way, he's assuring the people that he's working. And a lot of people, I don't think the president cannot say, nobody can blame the president for not understanding the problem. I think he understands more than anybody else. Here, he has power. As the chairman of ECOWAS, he has power as the president of Ghana. He's chief of the commander-in-chief of staff. This is an awesome lot of power. And energy is one of the bases where he can maintain that power. So I don't think he will joke or play games with the energy problem. The problem is, how do we solve it? And I think the president may have to take some blame for saying he will fix it. Because if you look at our energy problem, nobody can even fix it within the shortest possible time, in 5 years. Nobody. Why? Because, see, do we have enough hydrogen to put dams? And if you do, you have to build them. You need engineers. You need the capital to put the hydro plants.
From where you sit, the president has been seeking to mislead us when he says he will fix it.
He's been doing what is morally permissible as a father of the country.
You say he made a mistake when he said he will fix it.
No, yes, I say it. He made that one. I think he made a mistake. He said he will fix it within 1 year. Fixing it, taking a reasonable time, 5-10 years, yes. But nobody look at the energy mix. We don't have enough hydro plants to build hydro plants to generate more additional energy. We don't have enough oil to put into fuel. We don't have enough solar. Even if you do, you need engineers to put all these things in. You cannot do that. You need the capital. You need the capital to put solar, to put hydro, to put fuel, to put all kinds of things. It takes more than 1 year. And if the Ghanaians were to understand that due to our energy mix, there's no way any government can come in and fix the energy problem within 5 years. Because we don't have the capital, we don't have the knowledge of the expertise, we don't have, even if you do, you have all the engineers, you have to build and construct these facilities. It takes more than 1 year. So what are we saying we can fix it within 1 year? It is not true. So what we can do is do temporal adjustment. And by temporal adjustment, we look at the reality of the problem and ask ourselves this. If people have to invest in buying more fuel, what does that do? The government may have to come in and say, look, I have to reduce taxes to businesses to allow them to put more fuel into their plants so that they can generate employment. Government cannot have two ways. Cannot have it both ways. Taxing people more and asking them to buy more fuel. So the government must choose an alternative. Say, look, if you are investing in buying fuel and buying generators and all that, there must be a way we can give you tax rebate to recover. And therefore, there must be a way that there must be a compromise. There must be a discussion between government and business to see what do we need to do so that we can march ourselves forward to get to long-term solution to the problem. And this is adjustment, this is discussion, this is a national issue.
Do you support the demonstrations, so to speak, the vigil? Do you support
Demonstrations are a sign of people who are frustrated and concerned. That's definitely true. Anytime you feel heat, you react. The demonstration is that people are feeling heat and they're reacting.
Do you approve it?
Of course you have to. Of course I do. Even the president does. Not only is the law, it is reasonable, it's moral, it's justifiable. You see, the president does. Nobody has debate about the people's right to demonstrate or to do those kinds. Those things are valid. But what I'm saying is that the energy problem must not be played politics with. Otherwise, we can never get out of it. We must come down as a country and say, look, this is where we are. Do we have enough capital to go for solar right away? No. Do we have enough capital to go for hydro right away? No. Do we have enough capital to import enough oil, fuel to generate oil generators? No. What do we do? These are the questions we must sit down and ask ourselves and find national solution to it. Not promises, not innuendos, not nothing.
What do you expect to be government's response to the outcry
Simple.
that is now going to be expressed on the streets in the manner that the actors and actresses are suggesting?
I think my personal position is that the government's main problem has been and always is. It doesn't have people to explain to the Ghanaian public, the average person, what we are actually facing. This is a true statement the government must make to its people, to the people. We are a citizen, we are facing a common problem.
Just hold on, I'll come back to you. To actually be sure, what else do you want the government to say?
Exactly.
In addition to all the actions that it is taking.
No.
Confidence Hagan joins us. Thank you very much. You are not only in the industry of entertainment and fashion, you're a business owner also. What's your experience like, and why are you going to join if it will not change anything?
Well, hello?
Yes, you're on.
Hello, can you hear me? Okay. Well, this Dumsor issue, it's been going on for a while. I have been experiencing it for so long that it becomes part of my everyday lifestyle. But it's gotten to a point that I can no longer do business without electricity. That is my point, that it's impossible to run my kind of business without electricity. Yes, I understand with the other celebrities, yes, they have productions that they would go on. They can push their production date and they can manage it. Confidence cannot manage it because every weekend is a doomsday situation I have to face. And I buy so much diesel for my generator that it's just ridiculous. I will spend about 2,000 in Accra, and Kumasi is a different story. So this is something really must, the problem has to be solved. The problem has to be solved in some way. so that we can, you know, continue with the businesses that we've created over years. You know, I've been in the business for like 11 years.
You don't trust the promises and the assurances that have been given over time by the president?
Well, how do I go on with promises? I can't see, I personally, in my business, I can see the light at the end of the tunnel because I've been in it for so long and I'm still in it. You know, for example, I have to close my restaurant because I cannot run it every day on the generator that I have. So I buy a new generator.
You really mean that? You really mean that you've closed your restaurant because of Dumsor?
Pardon?
You really mean that you've closed your restaurant because of Dumsor?
Yes, because my generator, I have a generator that is about 190 kW, and I cannot put that on just to run the restaurant in the daytime. So the restaurant in the daytime doesn't work at all. So only when we put it on for the club, that is when we can run the restaurant. So we have to either buy another smaller generator to do the job for the restaurant on the normal days, which is, you know, the days that the club is not working.
What is your expectation? What is your expectation of the outcome of this public outpouring?
Well, my expectation is at least they need to listen to us. They need to listen to us. It's important that they listen to us and try. And we're not saying that we walking in the street or saying we going on a vigil is going to stop the Dumsor straight away. That's not what we're saying. What we're saying is that, listen, guys, we are suffering. Help us out. Do something about the situation.
Do something about the situation, and the something is being done. Just that you feel that the arranged plan is going to take too long. Is that your fear?
Well, the arranged plan has taken too long. Promises have been broken. It was supposed to end at a certain time. It didn't end. It's supposed to come on at a certain time.
In fact, the president got tired of the promises, so he stopped. He promised he will not promise any longer.
Okay, so when is this going? Okay, the question here is, when is this going to be solved really and honestly? When is it going to be? When is this happening so that a business like mine?
Now we are told that by end of 2015, Dumsor will be over.
Oh, well, by then some of us have lost our businesses already because we are in it. By then, some of us have lost our business already.
Okay. Now, before you go, can you tell us, how do you feel, or what do you say about the reactions, particularly from sympathizers of the president and government, about some of you who have been very vocal about this situation?
You know, we should. This is not politics. We're not doing. We're not doing politics. All we are saying is, listen, Ghana needs electricity. We need electricity to do our businesses as celebrities. And we can also see that we are not the only ones that are having the problem. The whole entire nation is in crisis. So can we are a voice that people can, you know, talk through us as, listen, we're facing this problem, you're facing this problem. Can we come together and let someone listen to us? But then if Yvonne comes up and say, Dumsor must stop, and people are throwing stones at her, that she's that is not going to solve the problem. What they should rather come out and say, Yvonne, yes, we do understand where you're coming from, but we are solving the problem, instead of throwing stones at her.
Okay. Thank you very much, Confidence, for your time. Okay,
Thank you.
Confidence Hogan, I'm sure that you all know her.
She speaks well.
Yeah, she's got a business that she runs like her colleagues. She's not into movie production because that's not what she does. You know, she runs a restaurant and a nightclub as well. And she's also into this fashion designing, is it? All of these. And she says that this is her Dumsor experience and that this is not politics. So it does appear, before you come in, we are wrapping up on this, it does appear that there is an expectation that there will be some emergency plan rather than wait until when the car, what was it again, that project from car power, until that one comes in, because we don't expect that to come in and to be operational anytime until
but it was supposed to be here 1st April.
Yes, we have been told the truth that it won't.
And this is the truth.
Already. So
the new one is the truth.
Is there any plan like that to take some emergency, planning about it?
Well, the only emergency we can think of is to bring a power badge as quickly as possible, and that's what we are working on.
But the power badge is the time, frame.
The other one
is not emergency.
Yeah, and the other one is to, because to hope that we will have enough rains to fill the dams. Unfortunately, over the years, our investment in energy has been more on hydro than any other. So we have more of hydro power installation than thermal. So now we've come to a point, the president says, I'm not going to manage this thing. It's not going to be solved in a way that will create more problems in the future. We are committed in giving a long-term solution.
So where are the toys? Where are the toys?
Which toys? The one that Rakurobe...
Yeah, where are they?
We are told that
a number of them have broken down.
Some of them have also been hired out.
They hired out?
Yes,
they've taken them to Sierra Leone.
Yeah.
That's what's happened. And all they needed was diesel to get them moving. So really, it appears to me government is simply not interested in
Gabi. Doc, in 1 minute, the question I ask you, what do you expect to be government's response to this particular movement? And look, don't underrate the celebrities. They have such a huge following that if they get on the street in their numbers, it will be such chaos.
No, I also love some. I love some of them, but I won't love their politics, or I won't love their decision to change anything about my belief in my government. So that's the other area they may find problems.
Okay, I find that he cannot do away with the fact with his position that this is really politics.
He's a minister, so I can speak freely.
Yes. So what should government be saying to these people?
First of all, I think they are right. They are like everybody else. They are having the pain, and if you are feeling pain, you react. Very simple as that. The government should understand it as such. Now, what it also now needs the government to do is take its time and really approach the Ghanaian people with the true story of the state of the energy problem. It should not be a political thing, because we're all in it. And then, if we understand that there's a mix, energy, fuel, hydro, and all that, and that we cannot generate it immediately, what do? Temporary measures. What are the temporary measures? Maybe the government can see that with the importance of diesel engines for this. Then see, look, if you bring in this one, we'll give you tax rebate, but don't sell it more than this one, so that business can operate. Temporarily, then we'll look for long-term solutions and even work into a regional plan, so that West Africa as a whole can go that way. And
Thank you.
That's the best.
Thank you, Dr. Something Tubiga. Thank you very much.
But it's a money-making project.
Thank you.
That's basically it is.
Gabi, thank you. That's where we draw the curtains on this particular issue
of importing refined diesel. That's basically what it is.
Okay. Kuku insists. Is it a minute or two if you can finish what you want to say?
Politics. Really, politics. What's wrong with that? Politicization, perhaps problematic, but I haven't seen that evidence. But I would want to read something.
No, but Kuku, is it not bad enough that Sarkodie thinks about it and he says we're going to do this, and suddenly we are being told that he's related to Nanado and he's going to do this, and these are very, very influential persons within the NDC saying that this is what they have done. They've gone to take money.
I am unable to dignify that crudity with any further comment relative to the question of Nanado and relationship and all this. I'm unable to dignify it with any comment. It distorts, it pollutes the public discourse. It has no value.
Okay.
And I would not. I was just about to read something I think came from the research material Joy gave us. It is supposed to have been on Yvonne Nelson's Facebook wall. It says the the hashtag Dumsor must stop vigil is on 16th May. Join me and other citizens of Ghana, strictly non-partisan. This is simply a discharge of your civic responsibility to God and country. This is for the many people who have lost their jobs because of Dumsor. This is for the many people who have lost their lives because of Dumsor. This is for the school children who have to study with lanterns and torches to write exams. This is for the sick people at the hospitals who have to endure Dumsor on their sick beds. This is for the many patients who are unable to receive efficient health care because of Dumsor. This is for you and I and the unborn generation of this great nation. Where is the politics?
It's about society and it's
Where is the politics?
Interesting there. Now,
wait.
Newsfile has always is brought to you.
Unborn generation.
I'm very surprised.
Those who are dying, those who are dying. No.
If you have a premature baby,
But I don't get you.
Unborn generation.
But wait a minute.
Let's look at the objective.
So doctor has decided to.
Unborn generation.
No, wait.
Dumsor is darkness.
All I read. Yes. The only thing that occurred to you is the unborn generation.
Yes.
That's all.
Yes.
So take 1 out of 10.
No,
How many is left?
It's a package.
In terms of logical analysis, when you add something that
but if you kill businesses now, you affect the future of this country.
I don't even get it because I think it's relevant.
When you say unborn generation, we're talking about Dumsor darkness.
Yes.
A blind man cannot see. Unborn generation cannot see. So why has that?
You know the impact.
Unborn generations.
She told you.
Yes.
Okay.
I really don't.
I think you are doing.
I don't get it.
Unborn politics.
All right. This show, as always, is brought to you by the kindest sponsorship of Bank of Africa, strong as a group and close as a partner. MTN, welcome to the new world. Sasso Spray, fresh and powerful. Star Assurance, your solid partner. Lipton Tea, the #1 tea brand, and Yum Vita, delicious way to grow. Yes, I'm taking a break at this very point. When we return, I'm hoping to read some of the tons of messages that you have sent to us on this particular subject. I'm hoping to read some of them, and then we'll move on to the NPP politics. Is the NPP obviously in self-destruct mode? How can it expect to win elections in 2016? And the ADB corruption, mismanagement allegations, and issues of landlord turning into a tenant that has to pay for an expensive place that it is renting. We'll be right back to deal with these other matters.